One famous educator in Brazil said that education is freedom. I think that's fair, but I would adjust it just a little bit and emphasize that education is independence. You see, education is actually a combination of things. There's a relationship in here between knowledge, which is what we usually think, and skill. And I'm going to argue that actually, if you want to be an independent thinker, an independent student, an independent homeschool, you're going to want to tune in to the fact that it comes through skills. Once you develop the abilities to comprehend and read and communicate and solve problems, to manage your own emotions and do relationships and effectively perhaps even persuade others, you'll find that it empowers your life to be an independent individual. This independence is pretty powerful when you consider the alternative. The alternative is to stay ignorant, uneducated, unskilled, lack of knowledge, and so you're going to be dependent on other people for everything. You're going to be dependent on them for direction, for help, for hope, for how to handle your finances, for money itself, for doing a job. This is, in some ways, the nature of the game. And I would encourage you to start thinking about how to cultivate independence in your children. My name is Dr. Fred Ray Lybrand, and I'm a homeschool dad of 5 and have the site independethomeschool.com where we mentor parents and kids and how to be independent thinkers, independent learners. Well, this independent issue is crucial for the development of leaders, for the development of freedom, for the development of societies that have virtue in them, and I would even argue some sanity. Once we start getting dependent, we have a fixed mindset that is generated out of that. We get needy, we get limited, we lose the ability to respond, or be responsible, and so life becomes a kind of an enslavement, even a drudgery, the way it feels to me, of going through being told what to do constantly. This is the nature of the problem. And this is why historically people have tried to control books and information and teachers. It's why Socrates was put to death, right, with poison, because he was corrupting the minds of the youth. Well, you cannot be more corrupted than being uneducated, not know how to think, not know how to reason through something, not know how to make decisions, and just simply be led away by whatever you hear in the media or what's in the air among people talking. You must learn to think for yourself. You must learn to be independent. And for that to happen, you must become educated. The Greek notion of education is something I resonate with. And it had the idea of, well, I say Greek, it was really Roman, but it was borrowed from the Greeks and they're all tied together. But that Roman word educare, right, means to lead out of, maybe to draw out of, either way, duct and e, and the way that Latin word breaks down. And the idea was it was in you and it was drawn out. That's actually the cool place for independence to really blossom in a student, in a human being. So, when you look at education properly as a parent or a teacher towards your students, you're really trying to cultivate independent thought and opinion. When you beat them down and tell them what they can say and can wear and can't wear, and do and don't do, that's creating dependence. When you celebrate the fact that they've tried to think it through, you're getting somewhere. And you kids, if you're listening to this, same thing. You learn to think for yourself. Learn to make sense of it. And the shortcut, honestly, is on any issue or situation, just argue both sides. If your parents tell you you can't do something, why don't you try to argue from their side why it makes sense that they don't allow it? And then turn around and argue from your side why it does. Do this alone first, and then you'll understand the issue, and there's a fair chance you'll come up with a profoundly powerful way to suggest to your parents a different viewpoint. And when they change, you're going to find out you really are an independent thinker who can figure stuff out for himself or herself. I hope this helps.